Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Iron Panther Presents. Today, we shall be discussing Godfather of Harlem and what happened to this damn show. As we talk about season 3, episode 8, history means nothing. We're just making up shit now, clearly. But why is Arnold Schwarzenegger behind me? We'll get to that. Damn it. Let's go for it. Kim, what did you think of this week's episode?
I'm trying to figure out why Stella's still alive.
What are you talking about? She's running the mob now.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, you actually got your own uncle, your blood uncle, roughed up. And he's a pastor. I was like, she's a ruthless bitch and she needs to die. I'm sorry. Who does that to a pastor? I was like, and he's always been on her side. That's the one thing about him. He's been a great uncle to her. Always, giving her advice, helping her out with her dad, with her stepmom. He's always been there for her, and that's what she does. I was like, you know what? I can't wait. I hope and pray that episode 10, she dies. Like, shoot her in the head and keep moving.
Yo, she said, Uncle, you gonna get down or you gonna lay down?
Yes.
And he was like, nah, I ain't doing none of that shit. He's like, we'll see about that. I was like, she better not be sitting in that car. She better not be sitting in that car watching.
I knew she was in the car.
Like,
I knew she was in the car. I was like, it
it
has to be this room. Well, they always say that women make men do things. So
I was like,
they blame us for everything. I don't.
Yes, they do.
That's Genesis. I mean, I don't know what you want me to do. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't write it.
Blamed us. You did the apple. God told you not to do
Who wrote the
We
Bible?
didn't make you do it.
It's like
It was
talking.
a man.
No one, all I know is no one was eating an apple when it was just a man there first.
Men wrote the
Well,
Bible.
I just said she,
Huh?
but she doing.
And I ain't seen no woman read rising it either.
Well, we can't because men don't let us.
That's right. It's crazy. It was just, I was like, damn it.
It was that part got me, and I was like, okay, I cannot believe this. But the whole thing with Bumpy and then pulling a gun on Malcolm, I was like, yes, we have stretched this a little bit too far because that I would like to say that would never happen between two friends. Come on. You're going to pull a gun on someone to protect them?
Time, actually.
To protect them, you're going to pull a gun on someone?
Because I know that the CIA, FBI, NSA is going to use a rocket launcher to murder you.
Because my homie saw a fruit truck, and I always put missile launchers in fruit trucks.
Everybody knows that.
They've been doing this since the 20s.
No, he said since the Civil War.
I was like, that's right. You took the Civil War on that one.
It was ridiculous. And the whole thing with the missile and it went to the water, that was ridiculous. I was like, okay, so this show is like gone over the edge. They like completely lost their mind. And then did everybody notice that in this episode, particularly, Forrest Whitaker is like getting more and more hunched over. I was noticing it in the other episodes that he's starting to really like hunch. And one of his shoulders is down now, and he was walking next to Mamie. And I was like, what is happening with his body? Like he, I mean, I know he's vegan, so that's why he's so small, but something's going on. I don't know if he had a backache or something's happening, but he's starting to hunch.
Maybe they're prepping.
That's method acting. He misses his lady.
Yeah, that's right. Without Mamie, who somehow didn't realize she married a drug dealing murderer.
Yeah. Okay. I'll finish my rant after I say this. I love the scene with Mamie and the wife. I can't remember her name.
No.
Really?
I loved it. No. It wasn't right. Stacey, it wasn't right.
No,
but
that
I
is
was
unacceptable.
She pulled out that ghetto card. She was like, bitch, I will run you up and down the street.
With that damn bag of groceries. Bitch, get out of my house threatening me.
Exactly.
Stacey, she came out
Like,
of pocket.
get your light skinned ass out of here.
I know, Chrisley. She would have been like,
I thought it was funny.
She said,
it was funny.
It was funny. No, Kim, it was funny. But Chris
It
is
was
like,
funny.
she's too light to be that strong.
I'm not
Hell yeah.
agreeing
That
with
was so
it. I'm not
unrealistic.
agreeing.
Out of
that she
everything
did
that was going on with like realism in this episode, that was the most unrealistic part.
No, it was. I'm not
everything.
saying that it wasn't. I'm saying
Because
that
I
it
ain't
was
seen
funny.
no
though.
light-skinned young woman be gotten the ball, those size balls on her. I've never seen that. No.
Wait. What does her color have to do with it?
exactly.
a lot.
Because he's
A
a
lot.
colorist. Ignore him.
Colors. Chris is a color.
Why is that light-skinned woman don't back down? But then Malcolm X is like, okay, I'll go back in the house there, Bumpy. Like, you know what I mean? So one likes, I'm just saying.
Chris says some silly. He's a colorist, but I agree with you. I'll say it was hilarious. It was hilarious. It was out. It was out of character.
I was so angry.
I was laughing my ass off. I was like, is baby trying to get gangster?
I was waiting for her to be like, again, like, you gonna smack another one? Like, you gonna smack somebody else now?
I thought she was gonna smack the shit out of her for real. I was like, wait a minute.
I hope that woman beat your ass. And then she threatened to snatch her wig. What?
I was like, run her up and down the street. I was
her little.
No, ma'am.
She ain't got the size. To me, it's the size. She's too small to be telling some woman who's obviously bigger than her. So shit like that. I was like, size.
And then she always speaks all proper or whatnot. It just doesn't. I'm like, nah. I'm like, bruh. I was like, sit your ass down. Like,
that's why it was funny, because she's Miss Proper. And then all of a sudden she came out of pocket. I was like, wow.
She wrapping this up. They're trying to wrap this up and give all these women some moments to be like, she's somebody. I was like, nah, let's not do that. She's like, basically what she says was, Bumpy, I ain't got nothing to do with you, but what I'm not gonna let this bitch fuck up my money. Because she knows if Bumpy goes to jail, she'll be living on the street and doing
she gonna go back to fucking that boxer and keep it moving. She ain't got her daughter no more. She gonna be living La Vida Loca.
She gave no fucks about that little girl. She wasn't like, I'm going down south to play mommy. She wouldn't worry with nothing about that little girl. I was like, damn it.
I thought she was going to see Margaret when she left. That's where I thought she was going.
Me too. No. And then she said, nah.
She's like, fuck the kid.
Fuck the little kid. That's right. I'm staying in the lap of luxury that I've grown accustomed to. I was like, damn it. Anyway, Chris, what you got? What you got? Besides light-skinned girls can't fight, please.
Yeah, I mean, they ain't got balls like them like that. That's just weird, man. That was just weird. But
dark-skinned women have balls now? Wow.
What?
Nah, not figuratively, you know what I mean? But
am I hearing testicles?
I know. I mean, like you were saying about the change of history. I mean, yes, Shay did speak at the UN, and Malcolm was in town. But I think I was saying before, like, about the idea of, like, anytime there's a show that has like historical contexts, especially with stuff like this being with Bumpy, he's always. I think we were saying this a couple episodes ago, like, somehow he's always going to be like in the midst. Like we were saying, like, how if Martin Luther King is in there, and like maybe he'll prevent the first assassination attempt against Martin Luther King or something, right? And sure enough, that's what happened in this one with Malcolm X. You know what I mean? It's like, because I had to think, I was like, I know Shay and Malcolm was good friends, but I was like, Malcolm never spoke at the UN. And then I watched the episode, like, oh, that's why, because Bumpy Johnson over here is up, is making sure that no fruit trucks is getting overturned and turned into freaking rocket launchers. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought the whole episode was hilarious. I don't know. I still think Your Honor was worse, but this whole thing was, Stella. I mean, Stella owns shit. Stella's owning shit there and there. I'm the only reason why I'm okay with her threatening the priest, right? And now, granted, it's her uncle. It's because she don't look at it as like no father or pastor or whatever. I think she said, and was it the first season, whatnot, that she wasn't even like that deeply religious in the first place. So I'm not surprised that she's acting this way. But that's her, like you pointed out, that's her uncle who's been always looking out for her. You know what I mean? Which is why he's like, yo, first time you're getting punched in the stomach, second time bullet in the head. Other than that, I don't know what the hell we're doing here. And I don't know. This whole thing where Malcolm's no longer friends with Bumpy, and now he's like, just because I'm writing you in that chapter of my book is not going to be written no more. Because I was thinking, I was like, he wrote about Bumpy in a book.
Absolutely.
And then when that happened, I was like, oh, of course. It was torn apart. And I was like, of course they go. Of course. I was like, all right. What other, like, this is Forrest Gump. You know what I mean? This is freaking Forrest Gump.
That's what we said. That's how we explained it. Like, Forrest.
This is like, so it was silly. I had fun with this episode in the sense of, like, I was just trying to see how they're going to disrupt the CIA's plan of assassinating him. I think that was why I had a somewhat of a good time with this. I'm like, all right, let's see this bullshit. You know what I mean? So other than that, I don't know. There's been worse episodes than this. This was silly by all means, but it just definitely wasn't the one of the worst. And that's saying a lot. So, but anyway, that's pretty much it. There's probably gonna be more stuff I think about when we continue to talk on though.
Hey Chris. Stacy, thoughts?
Maybe need her ass beat. Like just beat. Like
Not before Stella though.
Stella needs to die. Maybe just need her ass. Right.
All right.
You come in this woman's house after you left your trifling husband because he's a gangster, he's a bad man, right? The woman gives you sound advice. You're a good, proper Christian woman. Get yourself a good man. No. I'm gonna threaten you because you threatened my no good husband who I left and you took me in. No, bitch. No. Is it just me like the introduction didn't match the previous episode? Like when did Omar come to Malcolm and say, oh, they're conspiring to kill you? Did I miss that?
That was in the last episode. I do remember.
It was?
That.
Was that?
Yeah, but that's why I was saying it just seemed like really weak. It didn't seem realistic of this guy who's tried to kill you, and then now also he's warning you of a kill.
I was like, when did he just become like, oh, I want to protect Malcolm?
No. That did happen. That did happen. So that.
Yeah.
He looked like he came to his office. He looked around and showed them there was mics. They were bugging his office, and he was like, "This is the plan." Because that happened. So
okay. I didn't remember that.
Yeah. Because Mamie was there, and that's why he said, like he said in the preview, he was like, "I want to show you that more in deeds and not words." Like he's trying to earn his way back into
not Mamie, the daughter.
I still don't trust him.
Oh,
yeah, I don't trust
Omar?
him either.
Of course not.
I don't trust him at all.
Malcolm X, they're making Malcolm X look so foolish in the show, man. They make him look like, dude, you making dumb decisions. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
that's
the new Malcolm. The old Malcolm would have not have done it.
Real talk.
The old Malcolm would have took a bullet in his leg and kept it moving. This Malcolm, he a little soft. No.
Wow.
Also, to the soft, he's still not soft.
Makes sense though. Look at his skin.
He still has not given his, like we can be one message. That like his.
That's what I thought he was talking to the writer about. Like, okay, this is what I want to say. Then it turned into Bumpy. What?
What kind of rewrite history bullshit is this? Like, he is the true threat. Once a gangster realizes that he can be one in America, he shall uplift his ghetto, and that shall become the biggest threat. I was like,
and then he's like, once a Negro will always be a
Negro. The
Negro.
to Bumpy was that damn chicken wing. Like, stop it.
You're so silly. Also, black drug dealers never learned that lesson because they're still dealing drugs and killing their community. So sorry, buddy. Like that lesson got lost. So I was like, I don't even know what the fuck we were doing. And I was like, how did they gonna get rid of that chapter? There's no way that actually got written. And he was like, he hurt my feelings because he tried to shoot me, my best friend.
Up my shine. I was gonna be in front of the UN.
Burn these pages, author, that you wrote and typed up. Burn these pages so no one will ever know that they existed. No problem.
Okay, I kept them back up.
Right?
Let me pull up my Google Drive.
Especially once he's dead. So what the fuck is he gonna do? Like he's an unauthorized biography that he wrote later. I was like, come on, man. What? Stop.
It was ridiculous.
Stop it. Not as bad as the rocket launcher though. That's unexcusable.
That was.
And
nobody saw that
with that storyline. What happened with the storyline where the one of Bumpy's men went with the cocaine and all that stuff?
Yes,
didn't we think he was gonna be like a cokehead? And what happened to him with the girlfriend? Like they just kind of dropped that whole thing.
Oh yeah, what happened to her? She was
white. Remember that? We thought there was gonna be something with that.
Let's just let that go. I don't know. let's just move on to Stella's rise to power. And her running.
She's gonna end up banging him for sure. She's gonna end up sleeping.
Oh yeah. They're definitely gonna be fun.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how everybody can talk to Chin except for like the daughter. Like, hey, again, Chin and Boom are the biggest characters in the show that they're not in. Like it's amazing how many moves they're making. I was like, how is this possible? What was that, Chin? What? your wife tried to kill your daughter. What'd you say? And what? Stella should be in charge because she's.
But remember, he's in solitary confinement.
Is he though? Because somehow he's still.
He has a pigeon. He has a carrier pigeon that he
damn
sends out.
pigeons. It's the pigeons. They did it again. I was like, it was too much. I'm sorry.
Or a little tennis ball.
Oh, remember that never came back. That never came back. Season 1, episode 1 never got.
Well, they switched rooms.
I was like, damn it. Anyway, Stacey, what?
Olympia is getting as bad as Stella, so she can go too.
All right, so Olympia can go, Stella can go,
everybody can go.
How about all the women can go?
Malcolm go.
Malcolm's gonna go. So
Malcolm's
I mean, it's
definitely gonna go.
Maybe needs to go.
It's too bad. It's too bad.
I mean, Bumpy's gonna have a heart attack. I'm sure. Once Malcolm dies, they're gonna show the scene.
That's
a Bumpy eating the chicken.
And just it's like, no, not my friend.
He'll be choking, and somebody gonna be sitting at the table, and they push the water out of the way.
Like we're just out of reach. Just out of reach.
They'll bring in
like a house divided.
Carissa will be the waitress. Carissa will be the waitress. Just be like,
no, Mamie's gonna do it. She gonna turn on him again, and he gonna be choking. Help me, Mamie. He gonna be like,
oh, she's gonna ask for ownership of that chemical company or external chemical company that never came back as a storyline. And he's like, nah, bitch, like that's my job.
Like you a woman, sit your little pretty ass down and go make me an apple pie. And she gonna be like,
nope, sweet potato pie.
And she
only for her daughter though.
What happened to Mark? At least I hope she comes back for the funeral. But anyway,
Margaret is grown.
Huh?
Margaret is grown, living her best life.
She's coming back with her little girl because she's grown. She's like, oh, you know what? I was actually pregnant and I had a baby. Like what? Like it's been 5 years. How's that possible? Anyway, here's my child. He's your grandchild. Pop before you get murdered. Because you die of a heart attack.
Well, that would be his great grandchild then.
That's right. But
yeah,
that's right. Jemani, what you got? You got a lot of things going on behind your background. Talk to me.
Oh,
yes,
you got Alex
it's
Haley.
very busy.
Yeah,
it is very busy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Eric Mays? Who is that?
We got Alex Haley. I replaced him with the guy who died, but yet they still keep him in the season 3 promotional material.
Oh, him. Okay.
And this is the Godfather of Malcolm X. Like it's not Harlem. It's Malcolm X. He like is basically like Bumpy is his like fairy godfather or something. I don't know. Like I'm here to make sure that you get to. Oh shoot! I just realized that you get to the ball, safely. But he died at the ballroom.
Maybe he doesn't die.
In this rewrite of history?
Yeah, he fakes his death. And he comes out with it, and his name, he changed the name to Jamal. And
he's in Cuba.
He rides off to Cuba.
And then he becomes one of Bumpy's men.
No, Malcolm goes to Cuba and he raises his little boy.
Named Tupac.
Oh God.
Stop.
No.
He actually did get a lease. He actually did have an affair with the lease. She's pregnant.
He had an affair with Afeni when she was in prison.
Afeni Shakur.
When
That's right. She was a Black Panther.
That's it.
He is the reason why she becomes a Black Panther. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Fuck MLK. No, Jemani. Okay, what she got?
Dang, where'd that come from?
What?
You said fuck MLK. We weren't even talking about Martin Luther King.
No, I'm saying like in this show, they obviously said fuck MLK because he's not even like identified as an entity like where he should be like at this point. That's
you know what though? I think this show. So here's the deal. I think the reason why we ain't getting Martin Luther King in this is because people are very sensitive when it comes to Martin Luther King compared to Malcolm X. So let's be real. Malcolm X is today he's way more controversial than Martin Luther King. You know what I mean? So you can do a lot of stuff when it comes to just Malcolm X, and yes, you're gonna have some people get upset about it, but the overall masses ain't gonna be that upset. You do one thing wrong about Martin Luther King, everybody's coming after your ass. You see what I'm saying? I think that's why.
Acknowledge his existence, like just to be like, hey, he's on TV, like, oh, he called Malcolm the day he's assassinated or some shit, like just to be like he exists. Like I mean, it's like he doesn't. It's Bumpy. Bumpy is MLK somehow. True. And like they're the ones that are trying that made civil rights for America somehow. In this version. This is weird. Anyway, Jemani, I'm sorry. Jemani, what you got?
Okay. So basically this is basically all about nothing but Malcolm X. And I don't know why he is taking over the entire show. Like as far as the way he's gonna probably die is it'll probably happen the way it happened in the Spike Lee movie, but Bumpy will be able to resuscitate him and be able to go to the hospital or be able to be put into an ambulance. And then someone from the CIA will come and suffocate him or inject him with something. And
potassium chloride.
Huh?
Potassium chloride.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Bumpy will have saved and flaunted the initial attempt, but they will still get him in the end. That's probably how they're gonna rewrite that. But Stella has lost her groove. She has met her match in this episode. She has run up against a priest and an uncle, and her feminine wiles are no match towards that. That's why she said, "I'll say 10 Hail Marys for you and send a mob boss your way."
Got that ass whooped too. I mean, she will get what she wants one way or
I'm like, she asked nicely first.
She did. She tried to pull the family move. Then she said, "Now I got put out the hand, and you don't want that, right?" And he was like, "You ain't gonna do that." He's like, "Yeah, I will."
She said praying hands. She's
more violent towards her family members than Lamar is, because Lamar has yet to lay hands on his cousin and the BMF. Not yet, at least. He threatens to. But
that's coming. I mean, that's
I'm like starving a man. He fed his dog his TV dinners. He won't let him watch TV. I'm like, he's basically doing Guantanamo Bay torture to his cousin. I'm like, it's damn near death.
But how does this mean for Malcolm? Or the reason why they switched to Malcolm is because he's a much more news story, because I don't want to see any more heroin dealing now that Jose Battle is no longer a partner. There's no more cocaine dealing, so fucking Bumpy ain't got nothing left to do, really. I mean, but protect Malcolm. Like, I mean, there's nothing. There's no more.
He does not have that any longer either. And I'm like, I can give you a positive. The actor that they got to play Alex Haley looks a lot better than James Earl Jones did in Roots: The Next Generation. He looks a lot closer to actual Alex Haley.
Oh.
I don't know.
That's good. I didn't know that.
Okay.
I didn't even see the second part of Roots or whatever. So
the Next Generation. I saw Queen with a Halle Berry.
No.
Yeah, that's the third.
I ain't watching no Roots.
There was a Next Generation where
sounds like a ratings.
Yeah, where it was like basically everything from where they left off with like Todd Bridges and Chicken George all the way up to Alex Haley going back to Africa and finding out the story from what happened. Kuta was kidnapped and we never heard from him again. And, he hears it from like the elders, the story being passed down of like somebody going missing.
Yeah, Alex Haley was Ancestry before we had Ancestry.
Oh, there you go. I mean, he was before it was popular. I mean, like yes. he was going through that. But is he going to be there to tell the story of Bumpy? Like after Malcolm was killed, will he be like, "Bumpy, let me tell your story"? Because that's what Malcolm would have wanted. And I'm be like, let's not do this.
Because this relationship is not real. Like, we know this is not real. Like, they met, just like what Kaiwan said, they weren't friends. This is not real.
I just love for Alex Haley to be like, I wrote a book. What would you call it? Godfather of Harlem. And that's how the series ends. I will be like,
that would be awesome.
That's what there's a story to be told here. And I think really to see Malcolm X through your eyes, Bumpy, that's what people need to hear. And he's like, let's do that. And then after he's done giving his memoirs, he dies of the chicken. And then bam, there you go.
I'm like, I can't say I like it, but I think it was the craziest thing in the world.
Please.
He says to Mamie, right?
Uh-huh.
I want you to call Powell, right? And get some federal agents to protect Malcolm.
Yeah.
Federal agents that are trying to kill him.
Kill Malcolm. That's a good point. How stupid is that? You said the FBI and CIA are trying to kill Malcolm. What federal agents do you think are going to come down here to now protect Malcolm? And Malcolm's going to be okay with that shit. Like,
I'm about to say, you want them to risk their jobs, like you know what I mean? Like,
but wait, remember the district attorney was running security or some bullshit for the UN thing, and he also was trying to kill Malcolm, and somehow he was not in this episode. He was in cahoots. Remember? Like that was last episode. He had the whole board of fucking death or whatever. And like that never now it looks like the CIA is actually working against him to get to Malcolm as opposed to them working together. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like he wasn't his stuff wasn't even brought up.
And I'm like, I don't know how they were gonna blow up. Like they're gonna blow a hole through a building.
Yeah.
And like, because I thought when Jose Battle was like, oh, my men are going to die, I thought he was going to foil the plot. And he was just like, they just dropped that. Because it was like, it really seemed like he was concerned about, oh, we're going to kill them afterwards. And
Yeah.
I was like, so what was the point of that then?
Yeah.
Like, as far as the whole thing with Mamie goes, right, that you guys are talking about, this guy just walked out the house, right?
Yeah.
He is getting in a 1960-something car, right? The car probably has to warm up or crank up or whatever, right? She tells her to pick up the phone and call, and with the rotary phone, to call. What do you mean call? You could just go out the door and get the guy. It hasn't.
Was she calling his cell phone? Because how? Like, who was she calling?
That's what I want to know. I'm like, he hasn't left yet.
I don't know. These are good points.
Maybe she was in his office to leave a message.
I don't know. Did you guys?
And I'm like, please tell me that Mamie was only there because she's trying to take this chemical company or something. Like, there's got to be some sort of ulterior motive for why she's there and she's hanging around. I'm like, she left her house a couple of blocks away with a whole suitcase. I'm like, in the 1960s, I know that they dressed up in suits to go on airplanes and stuff and were all fancy and everything, but there was no such thing as an overnight bag or a gym bag because I'm like, she brought all this stuff just to go down the street.
Because that's what they use, a suitcase. I mean, there was no overnight bags or anything. I mean, that's what they use, a suitcase. And she went to see her friend because she was comforting her because she was grieving. So she went and she was mad at Bumpy. So
that turned into a sleepover, and then she wasn't planning on coming back anytime.
They weren't friends until she helped her. They were helping her with that whole business situation. Like, there was no sort of. We never saw them ever together before that.
Yeah. Like all of a sudden they're just best friends, like BMF or some shit. Like when did Mabel become a thing? But all of a sudden they're best girlfriends in this show, and it's like, oh my God, your husband's dead. Yeah. Also, wait a minute. Remember, again, said widow was like, Bumpy's the only one who can give me justice because he's one of those dudes. Now all of a sudden she's like, you should leave this man because he's one of those dudes. I was like, what happened to the justice?
He's the guy who can give her justice, but I have to call and hire a private investigator.
Also true. Like that never came back to be anything. What happened to Bumpy looking into who killed my husband? She's like, nah, I got fucking a detective looking into this shit. I'm like, what? I was like, I didn't.
But also too, that woman, her husband was his hands were not clean. Okay.
Yeah.
He was doing dabbling in that stuff too. Okay. So the wife acting like he's holier than thou. No, bitch. Your husband is not as dirty as mine, but he was doing some dirty shit too.
Well, no. She admitted that
selling crack to his community.
She did say. I think she realized that obviously that her husband was doing some dirt, but she's like, what? But now the nigga's dead. Like, she's like, now he's dead, and I want to at least get justice for him. You know what I mean? And I think, so Bumpy ain't working fast enough. So look,
But that-
like if that private investigator happens to come up against something that might possibly maybe hurt Bumpy, whatever, I'm here for revenge right now.
Yeah, but guess what's gonna happen? Guess what's gonna happen? He's gonna find out everything that went on, and her husband is a criminal, just like.
But she's grieving. I mean, Kim, what you're saying? Yes, you're right. What I'm saying is, when you talking about someone who's grieving like this or whatnot, their reaction in the area, like they're doing a lot more reaction like based stuff. You know what I mean?
But said widow didn't.
I hear you.
Said widow didn't bring up the whole thing that made me. Where is Bumpy on his part of the investigation? Obviously, the cops that failed me. Is Bumpy looking into this? Is Bumpy looking into this? And then like now I get the investigator. Like that would have made more sense. The conversation.
I think because she saw the show the first 48. She's like, well, after the first 48, like you know, time. Like you know, as far as finding the criminal, the crime doesn't get solved. So it's like I saw, you know, she should have like, yo, I've been watching it on my little dollar TV. You know what I mean? First 48. So yeah.
Well, you know what? I feel like it could be okay. The reason why she got the investigator, right? But if that investigator finds out all the dirt that her husband did with Bumpy, that guy can turn right around and just blackmail her. And I know she's not thinking of that stuff, but that could have happened too, right?
Right.
Because he's going to take advantage of her because she's a woman, especially in that time.
They just wanted to see them maybe Breaking Bad and
yes, they did.
All right. So I was like,
so that light-skinned girls can have they got some gusto too.
And then she came back home. It was like, hey,
so
baby.
Fake. I thought I was watching science fiction for a second. I was like, what the hell is this shit?
Wait a minute, science fiction.
This is a Sharknado? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what the hell?
I got the show will end with Bumpy making plans to write an autobiography, but he dies before he can start. I like that. Like at some point he has to get to that point where he's like, now that Malcolm's gone, I gotta tell our story. And then he
Don't they do that for everybody that dies? Didn't they do that with Jimi Hendrix and then that new Tupac movie, All Eyes on Me? Like what the fuck? Like, stop it. Let these guys just rest in peace, for God's sake. Stop somewhere like, I want to continue this story 30 years later. Like,
well, I'm saying they gotta get bumped some kind of like honorable ending. I mean, he can't just be the gangster who died of a heart attack. Like they have to act like, and Malcolm has to be a part of it. Like somehow he has to I got to carry on from my brother bullshit that they're trying to give us.
No, and then he grabs him and be like, you know what? I respect Malcolm. Leave that part out or something. You know what I mean? Like,
so he's gonna be sitting in the diner and it's gonna fade to black.
Oh,
like Sopranos.
Damn,
and then they're gonna play Journey. Are they gonna play Journey?
I was like, damn it. With the soundtrack, you never know. The soundtrack is bomb. I'm like, that.
Yeah, the soundtrack is pretty bomb.
Yeah, were they playing Ice Spice in this episode? Was that Ice Spice playing?
It was some modern hip hop. I don't know, but I was like, definitely not the music of the era.
It was good though.
It was
like that last song, the one that they were playing when the credits were going up.
Yeah,
that was a good song.
I'm gonna be honest.
What was that?
Huh?
What song was that? I tried to.
I don't know. I can't remember what the song was, but I liked it at the moment.
Like, damn it.
Let me tell you this: the songs are good in this show, but it sometimes take me out of the show. To be honest with you, because it's supposed to be a period. Because
it's not a period piece.
I see what you're saying.
It doesn't seem
okay.
It doesn't grab me in. Like, and then all of a sudden you play. Like, I'm watching this scene, and then all of a sudden I'm hearing some like Travis Scott. Like,
yeah.
It's just like.
It doesn't.
I don't know. It doesn't work. I mean, the songs are right.
He said that. He said that when we reviewed season 1 because I was like, I didn't watch it. I was like interviewing. And I was like, yeah. He's like, the music is good, but it doesn't actually match the show. I was like,
like even when they're beating that priest up, and they were playing. Yeah, it was Ice Spice. They were playing Ice Spice while they're beating a priest up, and I was like, the fuck is this? Like, this is just kind of weird.
It's to appeal to the younger audience. So.
Were you complaining in Love Country with Cardi B?
Kim, ask your youngest.
Yeah, remember that?
Yes.
Remember Love Country had raps? I was like,
I did. I was like, what the fuck? No, we guessed it. We guessed it. We're like, this shit is so crazy. I bet you they're gonna play Cardi B. And be damned, they did.
And they did. Yeah. We get
I was like, damn it.
That was still a good show though.
Kim, I have a question though. Ask your youngest son if just putting some music in a period piece that has a story that starring old ass Forrest Whitaker is going to get these young kids to watch. Like it.
You didn't watch Underground, did you?
I was like,
I guess my point is, how is this going to make young kids that have no young
Well, you got to remember too, these are older men making these decisions. So they don't really know what younger people will do. They're just kind of throwing it out there.
But younger people win it. But no, you make them all go to South Carolina. Like what?
That's right. People the right age.
Like, what the hell?
You gotta go down south. You gotta go down south.
Man.
You gotta let the adults
Like,
do
what the
do
hell?
this shit. No, we gotta get to your honor because I don't want to do this anymore. I was like, no. All right, guys. That's the video.
Wait,
OJ.
What happened to OJ finding the real killer? Sweetheart, we don't know. We have the real killer is who he sees in the mirror every day.
MGM Plus is gonna make that show.
No, that's not what the jury said.
Allegations. It's not convictions. But thank you, Mr. Rock. Thank you, Mr. Rock.
Wait a minute. But didn't you say that Michael Jackson was he was acquitted on all charges?
No,
I was saying white
Michael
people.
Jackson did it.
No, they're both guilty.
People.
They're both guilty. No, she's talking to me.
Neither one was.
But no, David said that Michael Jackson is guilty. I'm saying OJ is guilty.
He is. He absolutely
okay, and
is.
so is OJ.
I'm not disagreeing with you, Kim.
But they will. Yeah, well, I don't think so. Since
is happening?
Giovanni,
how did we get here? How did we get
tax evasion?
What is that in the background?
Yes, I'm like
background tax evasion. What is this?
Yes, I'm like
follow that guy.
That's Stella.
That's Stella. That's Stella.
I get it.
We have
yeah. We should become like a tax expert.
Is she setting him up or what?
No, she about that life now. No,
was this a promo for H&R Block? Like,
right? She was like, "That's." I was like, "What the fuck is happening? When did she go to school for that? What?"
Right.
She has you don't understand.
Taking accounting classes online. So
that shit was insane.
Way before the internet, huh?
I like this. Don't make.
They're rich. They got the internet.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
Jamani was pissed. Jamani was like, "Damn it, no one brought up the tax stuff. Let's F it. I'm just gonna bring it."
I forgot about that. I was like, "What is?"
I forgot.
Her getting her uncle's ass whooped like superseded the tax scene. So I was like, that's why I forgot. But please, Jamani, you're back.
Go ahead, Jamani. There you go.
I was like, this has to be a public service announcement because I'm like, I know that with people in those PPE loans, right? People are gonna watch this show as we were talking about these young and impressionable, the audience that they're trying to reach. They will take that as gospel and will start opening and closing businesses every year and thinking they're going to evade taxes.
Is that you on the left?
No, that's just a stop.
No,
not Wesley. The other one. Okay,
the other guy.
No,
Who's the other guy?
No.
Okay. I was like,
nah, he's a
something on
YouTuber.
Google.
Oh,
she got the idea from her father. The IRS is your friend. I don't remember that he even saying that. Like, what season did he say that? And
when did he talk to her about business at all?
At all? And then, about business,
not to the point that he's opening and closing businesses to make money.
She was so busy going to clubs and shit like that. She wasn't worried about this.
She was too busy hanging out with black men.
That's right.
Going to the wrong part of town.
I was like, you getting that loving, Mo. This show don't make no damn sense, man. I know you love the show, and I understand that, and I appreciate you loving us.
Well, no. Did anybody catch what he said? He said, "Get on your panel. Get me on your panel to replace one of these people who don't like this Godfather Harlem." You would have to replace all of us, sir, because all of us are having a problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's we're pretty.
I like the show. It just don't make no damn sense.
I like
Forrest Whitaker, period. But
For Forrest to go right there.
Yeah.
I like OG Malcolm.
That's right.
Yeah, I like him too. Yes.
That season, that's when this show made sense. Like what was behind Stacey's when this show made sense and it had a purpose. Like I was like,
okay. So as far as that goes, if it was forget either fake Malcolm, if it was real life Malcolm, right? Right? The scene with the gun in the window and everything like that in real life, Bumpy comes to him, I'm going to shoot you in the foot. Goes back in the house, pulls out the shotgun, points the gun at her. Okay, what are you going to do?
One of his men should have pulled a gun on Bumpy.
It's going to be a standoff right then and there. It's not going to be, I'm going to go back in the house because you have intimidated me.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, like, Like one of the henchmen could have did it. It didn't make no damn sense, bro. We just chalk it up to bad writing. They're just trying to give us a reasonable explanation for why Bumpy will not be there to protect his great friend that's gonna get murdered next episode.
Yep.
And that's all this is. Even Elise, and she's like, he's already accepted his death. He knows that this will be his last days. How do you know that? Because I'm pregnant with his child. What? Anyway. That's a rewrite I want.
You are really trying to push this narrative.
I need this,
on you, sir.
I need this. I need her to be like, it's okay, baby.
No, you will not tarnish Malcolm's fateful name.
Hold up.
Yeah.
This show has already tarnished it. What do you mean?
Is he gonna will her a specimen and she keep it in the freezer like being married?
He hasn't been unfaithful.
Oh, Jabani. He said he's gonna put one in the glass and she's gonna use the semen later. I was like, yeah.
Like being Mary Jane.
Yeah, like you said, like being Mary Jane. Remember when she got the turkey baster? Anyway, we need to bring back the Holy Prophet so he could be the one to organize this man's death. I mean, or something like the Nation of Islam should come back and shit.
Elijah.
Remember, like that when the show made sense, and but now they just making up shit. Anyway, rocket launchers, y'all, rocket launchers. All right, guys, stick with us. Only Arnold Schwarzenegger can make this happen. We're gonna take it on to Your Honor.
Oh yeah, you never explained that. Huh? What Arnold Schwarzenegger movie is that? I thought was
Know Your History, you young mother. Like,
are you kidding me?
Wait a minute.
That's Commando, damn it.
You don't recognize Commando?
1985's Commando. That's when he walked in and whooped everybody's ass. He had the funniest one-liners I've ever heard, damn it. I mean, he was like, remember he killed that dude? He was like, please don't wake up my friend. He's dead tired. I was like, Arnold Schwarzenegger killing them lines. I was like, hilarious. I was like, go watch the movie, bro. Did you watch Posse yet?
I haven't finished it.
Look,
you didn't do your homework.
Then watch Commando.
I've seen Commando. It's just been like 20 something.
You gotta remember this scene. He was like,
I haven't seen Commando in God knows how long. My kids were little when I saw Commando.
I watched it on Showtime when I
just remember Elisa Milano as a little kid.
I was a kid and I was like, why are their breasts?
For some reason, I was expecting Jamani to be like, well, it's like, I don't know what Commando is, but I do sleep like that. You know, I mean, I didn't know.
Oh, Chris, 2 points for you. But I bet you ain't got the rocket launcher in your pants. Like, anyway.
Hey, I mean, they call me Big Gip.
We are way off track here. Okay.
All right, guys. We love y'all.